People have told stories for generations. Some of these stories have been scary, some have been funny, and some have been quite chilling. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 mysterious flying creatures. The mystery of the billy apes. Over a century ago, Belgian colonizers found a large primate skull during their rampage in the northern Congo. The locals would tell them stories of mysterious large apes that would attack and eat lions. Gorillas were never before found in this region of northern Congo, so researchers and explorers were confused and intrigued. They believed it to be an entirely new species of ape, although they never found any additional evidence or proof of life. The skull was promptly left to collect dust in the Royal Museum for Central Africa in Belgium until the 1990s, when Carl Amann read about them in a scientific article. He was a Swiss-born photographer and devoted conservationist. Enraptured by the skull's puzzle, he set off on an adventure through the dense jungles that few had traversed before. The Biliuli tropical forest covers 12,000 square miles and is a mix of impenetrable canopy and large stretches of savanna. The researchers had to trek through an impenetrable underbrush full of ants, mosquitoes, and bees that were drawn to their sweat. Despite being such a difficult undertaking, Amann ended up repeatedly visiting the forest over the span of 10 years, with various rangers, camera crew, and primatologists trying to find the elusive billy apes. On his first trip, he found another ape skull, which only increased his obsession. In 2004, American primatologist Cleve Hicks joined the search. He spent weeks traversing through the forest trying to find the apes. He and his team set up motion-detecting cameras and eventually captured images of the elusive billy apes. As it turns out, they were not a new species. They were chimpanzees. However, they were unlike any chimpanzees the researchers had seen before. They had larger skulls and feet than other chimpanzees. Their behavior was unique in that they nested on the ground like gorillas instead of in the canopy. They also used the longest tools researchers had seen in Africa to collect ants and honey. On one expedition, researchers came across a chimpanzee eating a leopard, although they did not know whether the chimp had attacked it or not. The locals called them lion destroyers and explained that even their poison darts would not affect the apes. Hicks stated that they were the largest population of wild chimpanzees anywhere in the world. He claimed that they were curious of the humans rather than fearful, which led him to believe that they had never seen humans before. Those that lived closer to civilization would flee when approached, but the apes further in would gather close to observe before quietly leaving. Since they lived in such remote parts of the jungle, it was near impossible for poachers or any other humans to encounter them. Today, though, the forest is a hiding spot for many fugitives or rebel groups and is being turned into farmland. Rock apes in Vietnam. As the American GIs battled through the dense jungles of Vietnam, the US government began a defoliation program to assist in the jungle warfare and clear out the native plant life in war-torn areas. Although the lasting effects of Agent Orange are still being uncovered in the modern day, with a wide range of birth defects, brain damage, heart damage, and cancer-causing agents, there appears to have been an unforeseen consequence of Agent Orange during the Vietnam War. Referred to by American soldiers as rock apes, consistent reports were made by a wide number of platoons of giant humanoid creatures fleeing the dying jungles of Vietnam and encountering the American GIs with sticks and rocks in battle. One veteran wrote the following report. Serving with the 101st Airborne in the mountains of Vietnam, I saw them, the rock apes, on many occasions. They were as large as a big man and usually were in small groups of 2 to 3, unlike Bigfoot, but were bigger than most men and smaller than Bigfoot. They were spotted on days, but would also set off our trip flares at night. This could very well be evidence that Bigfoot-like species inhabits the jungles of Vietnam and, under threat of their environment collapsing, came out of their hidden regions and battled with soldiers to save their forests, only to relocate to other jungles unaffected by the Agent Orange defoliant. Springhealed Jack. In 1837, a woman named Mary Stevens was walking to Lavender Hill in South London when suddenly a mysterious figure leaped in front of her. It grabbed her and scratched her body with its claws. As the woman started screaming, the passerby rushed to help her, but before they could reach, the mysterious figure had vanished. Locals searched for the mysterious aggressor, but they could not find him. This was only the first incident involving the mysterious aggressor with sharp, claw-like hands. Within the next few days, several other young women also reported similar incidents in London and the surrounding areas. The incidents associated with the mysterious figure made their way to the press, who gave it the name of Springhealed Jack. In February 1838, Springhealed Jack made another appearance. This time, a woman named Jane Alsop claimed that she was attacked at the door of her house by a mysterious gentleman who was wearing a cloak. According to her, someone had rang the doorbell, and when she opened the door to see who it was, the mysterious gentleman took off the cloak and breathed white and blue flames onto her. As she stood there in shock, the mysterious figure started cutting her clothes with its claws. The attacker fled after Alsop's sister rushed to the door to help her. The police arrested a man named Thomas Milbank, and a case was made against him. However, he couldn't be convicted as Jane Alsop insisted that the man who had attacked her could breathe fire. During 1838, many other incidents of Springhealed Jack attacking young women were reported, and gradually these incidents spread throughout England. Similar incidents were reported in Scotland as well. However, over time, the incidents associated to Springhealed Jack started decreasing. The mysterious man became a part of popular culture, however. A number of novels were written about him, and various supernatural abilities were attributed to him. The last reported sighting of Springhealed Jack was in 1904. Since then, there haven't been any other sightings. Over the years, there has been a lot of debate as to who or what this mysterious man or creature was. Some believe that it was merely a man trying to terrorize the locals in an effort to gain popularity. Others believe that it was a ghost-like creature that was attracted to young women. Whatever the reality of Springhealed Jack was, this Victorian demon has become a part of popular culture forever. The Black Dog of Newgate. The Central Criminal Court in London was opened in 1907. It was built on the site of a former prison known as Newgate Prison. The infamous prison was known for its appalling conditions. In fact, the conditions in the prison were so bad that Henry Fielding, who was a famous 18th century writer, termed the prison as a prototype of hell. A narrow passageway was located behind the Newgate prison, and it was used to take certain criminals to meet their demise. This haunting passageway has become known as Dead Man's Walk. After the construction of the Central Criminal Court, the passageway was converted into a courtyard known as Amen Court. During earlier days, the passageway was known for being the home of a fearsome ghost dog. Although this sounds unrealistic, many came forward with their story of the Black Dog of Newgate. Even to this day, many believe Amen Court is still haunted by this mysterious black dog. The origins of the Black Dog of Newgate go back to 1596, when a man was thrown into Newgate prison on charges of sorcery. During that time, London was hit by the Great Famine, and many prisoners within Newgate prison starved to death. Starvation led some prisoners to resort to cannibalism. The alleged sorcerer became a victim of cannibalism, and he met his demise at the hands of his cellmates. According to the legend, several days after the death of the sorcerer, his spirit returned to the prison in the form of a fearsome black dog. The ghost dog wreaked havoc in Newgate prison for several nights. It ripped the limbs off a number of prisoners, and some even passed away from fear of seeing the entity. Many prisoners resorted to fighting the guards as they didn't want to have another run-in with the black dog. It is believed that a few of the prisoners who had managed to escape were a part of the mob that had murdered the sorcerer and feasted on his body. The black dog hunted down all those involved in the murder. Once the black dog had the revenge by killing those involved in the murder, it stopped the carnage. However, to this day, the presence of the ghastly canine is felt in Amen Court. Some people have claimed to have seen a black dog-like ghostly figure slithering along the walls of Amen Court. A disgusting odour and the sound of the footsteps dragging is said to accompany the ghostly figure of the black dog. The Brosno Dragon. There seems to be a number of strange urban legends surrounding that of the Brosno Lake, located in western Russia, near the town of Andreapol, that features the telling of a massive underwater dragon that has made its appearance several times all throughout history. According to the old Russian folklore, during the 13th century, when the Tatar-Mongol army was making its advancements through the region nearby Brosno Lake on their way towards Novgorod, they had stopped at the lake to create a temporary rest stop for the army, as well as establish a temporary stronghold at the location to assist future army deployments throughout the region. As the horses of the army went down into the lake to drink water, the soldiers detailed that a massive roaring creature had come out of the lake and onto the shores, devouring the horses in single bites and tearing apart soldiers as if they were nothing but clay pottery. Over several centuries, there would be continued stories surrounding the lake that told of sand islands or sand mounds forming out in the lake that many believed to have been mounds created by the dragon itself to lay eggs. When fishermen would attempt to journey towards this island, they would be devoured whole as a large mouth would open up beneath them, sucking the boat and water into its massive mouth. According to further legends stretching back over the course of the last century, Russians claimed that Nazi soldiers were unable to advance past the region near Brosno Lake due to their tests of the waters and the awakening of the large beast. Some claim that perhaps the Nazi soldiers were interested in making attempts to tame the beast, but were soon met with a terrible surprise as the beast began to devour soldiers that got too close to the lake. Today, Brosno Lake is responsible for a large number of disappearances, including that of talented and skilled fishermen that seem to disappear without a trace of what happened to them. But what do you make of these eyewitness accounts? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and help us grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.